I think this is the first time I'm ever commentating Steve Sheik. I suppose we'll see how it goes. So, as I said, Acola, who just managed to defeat Umeki on stream, as narrow as the victory as it was, is still finding himself sitting pretty in winners here. A very rare Acola appearance at a local, who is now having to fight AIM, who I would have also said is quite a rare appearance, but as of late, he's been grinding out the locals more and more, so lovely to see both of them here. It's a very rare matchup for a weekly Smash Party, so I'm very happy. So far, AIM doing most of the damage at the moment. I suppose on a small stage like Small Battlefield, it does get quite suffocating for Acola if he doesn't get kind of like the right start to be able to, at the very least, mine a little bit of resources to... What the hell was that upbeat? This guy's getting creative. Standard ledge trap setups from Acola, as you might expect. Yeah, as I was saying, I guess if Acola doesn't really get the most optimal start, kind of like swatting AIM away with a couple moves before he kind of positions himself behind the walls, I guess it kind of does become a bit of a Sheik-oriented game. Like, AIM can kind of let himself dictate the course of the match, if that makes sense. I hope I'm making sense, but wow. Lovely little confirm. AIM taking the first stock without too much deficit at the so he's doing good here. But I mean, we're talking about Acola here. Even against top players, most of the time he will start the game off and stock down. That's just how it is against Steve, I suppose. So can't get too carried away. But AIM definitely playing very good at the moment. Is this a rerun? No. This is live. Oh my god. I love the nair placement, but maybe just a little too low positioned. Acola's minecart breaking away, and despite Acola managing to, at the very least, gain a few resources, I don't know if he's going to use Diamond for this stock. He just looks like he wants to play a little aggressively at the moment, just to get rid of AIM's first stock before he finds some leverage, but is AIM going to let him do that? I don't know. Managed to grab a few more resources after that forward air. AIM looking devious at the moment. That's a simple punish. Tries to get himself a range drop, I suppose, off of that F-tilt, but good DI from Acola gets him away from it. Acola pressuring with back airs. AIM breaks off with a forward air. The Acola classic. The minecart down there into the back air. Ah, it's good to see it. It's good to see him here in Tokyo. And now the stock count is even, but AIM with a hefty damage lead, as you might expect. Acola might be able to bring it back with one up tilt is all he needs, but a few needles is all AIM needs to be able to take the second stock. And hang on a second, that is AIM ahead of full stock. But I'm still not getting too carried away here, because I saw Umeki lose to Acola after going down like going ahead of full stock. I know what Acola is capable of. The man, the ability that this man has to be able to crush dreams in an instant is incredible and should never be underestimated. So AIM, well and truly not out of the woods yet. Gets himself a back air, but Acola breaks off with a forward air. Sound spot dash attack. AIM with a high recovery. Acola did not expect that. Acola playing a lot more grounded at the moment. He's managed to make himself a diamond, which he'll probably make here. AIM really has to start watching out here. Up tilt, back air doesn't connect. Brilliant grab from AIM. Just a simple back air, none too crazy. Up air, probably another up air. How does Acola land? Of course. But AIM still looking incredibly good at the moment. Has to watch out though. Acola in these scenarios is at his scariest. AIM has no jump, but Sheik with no jump isn't necessarily the most, you know. Whoa, almost a range drop cover that. That was scary. Trying to follow up off the nair with an up tilt, but Acola breaks out. The F tilt, rather. Side B being an interesting way of dealing with blocks. I suppose if it works from a safe distance. What? Really? Damn. I think that DI was a little suspicious, but Acola taking game one regardless. Yeah, I guess the side B off of a jab one is quite an interesting mix-up. Because you would expect something a little more immediate, like a forward air to come off of that, which is why most people would air dodge in those scenarios, or like, I don't know, break away aggressively with a move. But The side B being like a slight time delay is quite smart from Acola as he takes game 1. Just about though, just about. Aim was looking very good. I feel like when it comes to these matchups specifically, you just need to be able to develop a lead as Sheik. Because by the end of the game, you are going to be fighting the strongest version of Steve. And there's not that much you can do about that. So it's about maintaining the lead, not getting too intimidated, and just kind of riding it out, basically. Which Aim almost managed to do in the first game, rather. But ultimately, it is Acola that prevails. And what the hell is going on? Sorry, I just looked back at the screen. Acola is playing Gamer Watch. Now, I will give you a bit of context. I will give you a little bit of context as to why this guy plays Gamer Watch. Acola, on Smash Mate, I think it happened maybe 2 or 3 seasons ago, he started picking up the characters of the 2 players that have been beating him in bracket a lot as of late. And that is Gamer Watch with Mia, obviously, and also Cloud. Acola has also been picking up a little bit of Cloud as of late for fun. And as we see here, the Game of Watch is, I'd probably say, between the 2 characters that Acola plays, Acola is definitely a lot more capable with the Game of Watch as far as I'm aware. And we see it coming out from game 2, but Aim looks a lot more comfortable in this matchup, so to speak. I don't know how doable it is with the matchup in general of Game of Watch versus Sheik, but I'd like to say Sheik can probably do a little bit more. Despite the stock lead that Aim has, Acola is doing a fairly decent job of catching up, but obviously Game of Watch, I was saying, being a little more of a difficult-to-kill character than Steve, Acola manages to find the down smash in the perfect position, and he brings this game back to an even. Looking pretty good, the Acola Game & Watch. Finally, a Game & Watch main that actually doesn't use the blue skin, instead opting for the... what's this color called? What's this color called? Dark... It's like a dark blue, greenish navy? It's not navy. I don't know. Either way, Acola looking very good at the moment. Someone said I thought Game & Watch was his snake. I don't know if ooh! Off the down air? That's crazy. Aim as efficient as ever with those raindrops. I don't know if the Game & Watch is specifically for her. I think it's more because Acola wants to figure out how to play against Mia. And then sometimes the best way of beating your bracket demon is to find out how the character works. If you can see things from their perspective, it helps out a little more about what, you know, figuring out what your opponent specifically wants to do in any given scenario when you're fighting them. Which is why I think Acola is playing this character. And I say I think, but I know, because I think he said it in a tweet before. But I don't know. I suppose Game & Watch obviously being a very good character against Snake. But I don't know if, I don't know, we're talking about her here. I think Acola is fine going Steve, to be honest. It's quite an obvious thing to say, but I don't think many Steve players really need the secondary too much. Unless you are at Acola's level, in which case I think having a secondary like Paramithra is really good. Because there are just some people that exist that are just... Oh, a bit unlucky there. Aim taking game 2. There are some people who... You know, they just do not be losing to Steve. Just period, you know. Spargo being a very good example of that, which is why the Pyramithra comes to such effective use. Game 3, we'll see what Acola decides to play. I presume we're going back to the Steve here. Acola, thinking. Take your time. Yeah, okay. Smashville again. I don't know, what's your obsession with picking Smashville? I thought this was a bad stage. He did this against Umeki. I don't know. I suppose we'll find out. Either way, Aim with a good start. Maybe it's just because the stage is small in general, which means Acola can kill earlier, but who knows. standard, very pretty and attractive to watch aim combo. This guy is, bro, I love watching aim. This guy is so sick with it. Reading the neutral get up, tries to line himself a back air, but it doesn't work out. Acola with a tech chase minecart, watch out. Respecting aim's high recovery, finds the parry, but can't quite punish with anything, and Acola is back to playing defensively. Side B catches aim, and wow, down smash is a smart decision to go for, just putting aim in a bad spot, but instead of trying to go for an edge guard in those scenarios, it makes sense that Acola kind of just wants to prioritize mining. Because I feel like edge guarding Sheik, even as Steve, is quite difficult to do. And in those scenarios, especially early game, you just kind of want to get your resources as quickly as possible. So it's the smartest decision to go for in those scenarios. Regardless, the game going very, very even. Aim DIing up, maybe, to avoid getting hit by the blocks? I don't know. Aim running around, gets himself a down tilt. Good DI from Acola, so he doesn't get hit by any kind of follow-up. Rather, it's the wrong hitbox, I suppose. Jesus, I'm surprised that back air hit. Now, Aim having to struggle from behind here. Yapet's not going to kill, but just a stray bouncing fish is actually going to do the job. Now the game is completely back to an even. Never mind, I will shut up. That is a lot of that is a lot of up tilts, but no finisher on that. So regardless, Acola still manages to creep up with the damage here. 66% dealt already. Let's see how much Aim can respond back with. There's good DI away from Acola. Nothing too crazy. Aim holding center stage, but still slightly. Oh my! The complete call out. Beautiful stuff. I didn't think about that. Huh. I suppose you can just do that. If you can minecart and then up B to the top platform. If the minecart grab hitbox manages to connect, that puts you in a perfect position for an F smash. That's very smart. I never thought about that one. But yeah, thanks to a little bit of a brainy setup, Acola is now completely ahead. 95% dealt on Acola by Aim, and oh wow, that connected. Doesn't kill though. Aim looking for the kill, and wow, yet again, it's these inwards bouncing fishes that are just about connecting. Despite some good DI from Acola, it's working out, and Aim has managed to bring this back really, really impressively. Nez. Up tilt, oh my god, let him back on stage! Finally, Acola manages to get back. What? Really? Okay. I would have been very surprised if that connected. Or killed, rather. But just a sign that Aim has to watch out for things to come. The first all down air, I saw hints of that coming. Acola has a lot of iron to play with. And as we see there with the down air connecting, that is Acola just about taking it 2-1. Yet again, it's these close Game 3 sets that keep happening over and over, but Acola managing to clutch out in those last stock, last hit scenarios. It is just, this man is inevitable, just as much as the character is. Very, very close one. Cool. And that puts Acola in winners finals, where he will be fighting whoever. I haven't seen the bracket, sorry, someone tell me. And Aim is gonna drop into losers